Welcome to High Infidelity, the best cheating videos on YouTube. If you enjoy this content, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's get into the video.
My wife cheated on me with an undocumented tile layer and used our money, $4,000, to buy and work truck. Backstory. Ever since I was a child, I wanted to be a doctor. I opted to become a PA my senior year in college due to fiscal reasons. My family needed money after my father had a workplace injury, and I was a primary breadwinner in my family. I learned what PA are, the abbreviated schooling, and the ability to help people attracted me to it. I met my wife in PA school. Things have always been great. After years of practice, the financial stressor was gone, so I discussed pursuing medical school. She supported this. She was pregnant with our child shortly afterwards. Surprise, I had an unexpectedly successful cycle and had my choice of schools. She seemed excited for us. After our kid was born, she had PPD and times were rough, but we got through it. I was interviewing around the country and wasn't around much for approximately a 2-month period when my child was 4 months. 6 months, she leaned heavily on my parents for support. The intimacy definitely decreased for a year after our child was born due to this. We opted to go to a school in another state despite having a full ride to the local school, as she had told me she was excited to leave with me, and the other school was higher regarded, in an awesome location, and offered a competitive scholarship. After committing to that school, COVID hit. We didn't feel comfortable putting our child in daycare, and she was almost done paying off her school loans, just a couple of months away. She refinanced so they weren't on hold. We made the decision that she should stay nearby my parents and keep working and watch our child MF while she is at work, and help give her breaks when she needs it, for the year, and hopefully it could come up in the spring, COVID permitting. With the money we have saved, she could easily not work for a couple of years. We had been talking as normal until late October, when she said out of the blue she wanted to separate. I was shocked. I told her to do what makes her happy. It was a crappy response, but I was in shock. I literally called her to see how she was doing, and she screamed that at me. We didn't talk again for around 3 weeks after this. I came back in town for Thanksgiving break. She denied ever saying she wanted to separate and said she had been unhappy with the lack of intimacy due to the distance. We talked things over, agreed to work on things. I flew back to medical school for a week and returned home after they canceled in-person classes for the semester due to COVID. While I was waiting at the airport for her, she texted me saying she wanted to be alone. I ended up going to my parents for a couple of days. We ended up meeting in person, and she said she was unhappy with my decision to pursue medical school. She had been too afraid to tell me all this time. I asked her if there was anything I can do to change how she feels, and she gave me an ultimatum. Her or medical school. I chose medicine. This is the most painful decision I have ever made. My child is going to grow up in a split home. I asked her about couples therapy. She refused. If there was anything I can do to change her mind, she said no. She didn't want to be in a relationship where she is second. I'm still in shock. I won't be able to see my child regularly due to the fact that I'm literally half the country away most of the time. I am in the process of researching and think mediation will be an option, but everything is a haze. She said we can go 50/50 on our account and possessions, 50/50 custody. She will buy out what we bought together. I have no idea how child support will work, as I'm not working for the next 3.5 years, and she makes good money. I don't even know why I'm posting this. I guess there are people here who have been in similar situations. Ike. The world is burning. Update. I posted the above last time when my wife told me out of the blue she wanted a divorce. Together for 6, married for 2. We had a 1.5-year-old son. I scheduled mediation that we agreed upon, and she canceled the session independently 2 weeks ago. Said she wanted to work on things together, and so I came home after Christmas. We scheduled a road trip to New Orleans, Aram, and just spend time together. Last night, I decided to finally go through her phone. She's a deep sleeper. I noticed her conversations with her sister and her best friend were deleted from her phone. Alarms immediately rang in my brain. I find a group conversation she missed in which another man is mentioned. I look through her social media and stumble on WhatsApp. She deleted her conversations with the guy and her sister best friend. She again missed a group conversation with all 3 of them in it. Lost MILFs. 1 divorced, 1 never married, and my soon-to-be ex-wife. I found everything. She found another guy, had been ducking him, making BJ, telling him he loves him. Told them how afraid she was that her cycle was late. How trash I am, telling her friends complete lies about things I never did. Her sister lied to my face and acted shocked when I told her I was getting a divorce. This is someone I considered my sister. They went through my phone logs to look for any evidence of cheating. Couldn't find anything. Wow, he really is perfect. I think she snapped out of the fog when she realized I was really divorcing her. She told the guy it was over. She told him she loved him and didn't have feelings for me, but wanted to work on our marriage. This person I've never met told her that I didn't care about our son and that he could be a better father to him than me. That he loved her more than I ever could. She asked me to watch our child while she went to a therapy session. She actually dropped him off with me so she could go duck the other guy. She's a terrible, terrible person, and I can't reconcile how the person I married became this woman. She tried to cover everything up. If I hadn't gone through her phone, I would have been ignorantly with her, completely oblivious. Yesterday, she bragged about how her patients always ask to see pics of me and our son, saying we are both so handsome and twins. It's like she's a sociopath. Guys, I can't express in words how shocked I am. There always is someone else. Always. She reinvented history, misremembered things, completely fabricated events. It was the affair fog that so many people reference. Anything so that she isn't the villain in her story. I'm picking her up from work today. I'm actually in the parking lot waiting. I'm going to confront her at the park I proposed at. Then I am serving her the papers and leaving back to San Francisco this weekend. Edit. I forgot to mention there were multiple people stalking my social media and sending her pictures of anything I post. It's really damn weird. Update. She wanted to know how I found out. Who does she need to cut out of her life that couldn't be trusted? She thought either her sister or her best friend told me. I just stared at her and told her it didn't matter. If someone told me they did the right thing, it's what I would have done. The problem isn't how I figured it out, it's that you tried to bury it, that you did it in the first place. She said yes, I was right, and apologized again. Seemed fake as hell. The initial reaction was what she truly thought. She said this is not an excuse for what she did, and she knew what was wrong, but explained her side of things. Said she would be completely transparent. It started with someone else, not the guy I knew about. Said it started last October with someone else. Get this, I hired a pesticide guy to take care of some pests at my house. He was a married, early 40-year-old man with 2 kids. She said at the time she felt depressed and lonely after her pregnancy, had PPD. She started texting him from work. Swore up and down it wasn't physical. Said she felt sick immediately after texting him, would block him for a couple of weeks, then repeat. This continued from then until this March. I had no idea. She said the guy still calls occasionally from different numbers and she blocks them. This guy's wife has no idea. Yeah. When I left for medical school, she said she started feeling alone again. She met an undocumented 26-year-old tile layer in September. He spoke no English. That is the affair I found out about. She said that she wasn't thinking at the time. I would come home during breaks. She would act completely normal. We would have sex. I would leave. She would be texting how much she loved me, calling me every night. Then duck around with this dude during the day. I remember her going on COVID quarantine for 10 days from her job. She's a healthcare provider. She stayed with him for 10 days straight while my parents took care of our child. She was still talking to me every single day during that span.